Okay, let's get into it. Today, we're really diving deep into something crucial for anyone learning English. Listening skills.
Absolutely, it's fundamental.
Yeah, and not just, catching odd words. We're talking about tuning your ear to understand English like it's actually spoken fast, clear, natural.
Getting the real flow.
And our source for this, it's this really fantastic conversation we found, just packed with practical, actionable tips.
Yeah, it's like a goldmine for ear training, really.
Totally. So our mission here is to unpack all that, pull out the absolute best bits, the nuggets, and give you a clear roadmap.
Think of it like a shortcut maybe, to build that listening muscle.
Right. So if you've ever felt a bit lost listening to native speakers or just wished you could kind of get it effortlessly, this deep dive is definitely for you.
So looking at that conversation, what's the bedrock? This starting point they really push.
It's habit. Simple as that. The core idea is training your ear every day.
That just feels right, doesn't it? Not cramming, but just consistency.
Exactly. They really hammer home that even short daily sessions, they really add up. Make it regular.
Part of the routine. And they say start easy, right? Don't overwhelm yourself.
Yeah, definitely. Short, simple conversations first. Maybe focus on common phrases to begin with. Build up slowly.
Which kind of flows into the next big point.
Repetition.
Oh yeah, repetition is key. They stress that listening to the same short thing multiple times isn't like wasted effort.
No, it genuinely helps things stick, helps retention. And those tricky bits, they get clearer each time.
It's like active reinforcement, yeah.
And building on that, getting used to the sounds, they talk about moving beyond just single words.
You mean like noticing contractions, I'm, your, that kind of thing.
Exactly, and how native speakers just naturally shorten words. Godo becomes goda.
Ah, that trips so many people up. It sounds so different from the written word sometimes.
Right, and they acknowledge it's tricky at first.
Yeah.
But the point is that daily listening helps you start to expect it, understand those shortcuts. It's a different way of thinking about it, isn't it? Not just word-for-word decoding.
Yeah, tuning into the whole sound, the rhythm, the flow. They actually say the rhythm and flow are important. It's like the music of the language.
Okay, so that leads us to something many listeners probably grapple with. Subtitles and transcripts. Using them all the time.
It's a common crutch, for sure. And look, transcripts are useful, great for checking words, building vocab, seeing spelling.
Yeah.
But the conversation really highlights the benefit of sometimes deliberately listening without them.
And why is that so important?
Because that's how you really train your ears to understand on their own, without help. They use that great analogy, building your listening muscle.
Right, like lifting weights. You can't have someone else always helping lift the bar if you want to get stronger.
Exactly. You got to put in the effort yourself.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So how do you start that no subtitle workout?
They suggest starting with easier stuff when you turn the aids off. Simple shows, maybe slower podcasts. And they give this really important reassurance. It's okay to miss stuff at first. Your brain adjusts. Don't panic.
Takes the pressure off a bit. So it's not never use them, it's about finding that balance, knowing when to challenge yourself.
Precisely. Balance is key.
So once you've got the daily habit down, and you're thinking about sounds, not just words, what should you listen to? They had some good ideas there.
Yeah, they really recommend starting with things like stories, daily conversations. They call it a great choice for fluency.
Because it helps you learn how people actually speak.
Right. Everyday language, podcasts and interviews also get a big thumbs up. Great for natural conversation.
Makes sense. What about music?
Oh yeah, they include music, say it's fun and helps with pronunciation too. Suggest really listening to the lyrics, even singing along.
Might feel a bit weird singing in the shower, but yeah, I can see how matching the sounds connects listening and speaking.
Definitely. They also mention English radio or news. A bit trickier, they admit. Good for formal language, maybe more advanced learners.
Just mix it up, right?
Yeah, don't just listen to the news. Mix it with casual chat. Variety is good, they say.
And visuals. Videos, pictures.
Super helpful. They say visuals help understand context, make the meaning clearer, makes it easier to follow conversations.
And I like this one strategy, listening while reading. Like audiobooks or articles with audio.
Oh yeah, the double practice idea.
Yeah.
Improves both listening and reading. Feels really efficient.
So moving from what to listen to how to listen actively, note-taking came up.
Right. Writing down new words is excellent. But they have a really interesting twist on it.
Which is?
Don't just write single words. Write down whole phrases or sentences.
Oh, okay. Why is that better?
Because it's more useful for speaking. Learning how are you doing is way more practical than just learning doing on its own. Context.
Got it. And for longer stuff.
Just keywords. Efficient way to remember the main points quickly. Don't try to write everything.
Then there's that technique. Shadowing. Repeating sentences right after you hear them.
Yeah, shadowing. They call it very effective. Apparently it improves your accent and your listening at the same time.
Helps with pronunciation and flow, they said.
And they admit it feels weird, but helps a lot. They really push for daily practice, even if it feels awkward.
Gotta embrace the awkwardness sometimes. What about guessing meaning?
Another good strategy. Context helps a lot, they stress. You don't always need every single word.
That must make it less stressful, right? Just aiming for the main idea.
Totally. Focus on the gist. It makes it less stressful. They advise not getting stuck on one word. Try to keep the flow.
Good advice. Don't hit pause constantly. And summarizing. Putting it in your own words.
Perfect, they called it. Forces you to focus on what's important, and it improves memory.
And just repeating what you heard. A good self-test.
Yeah, a quick check, and if you really didn't get a part, write it down. Writing aids memory. Look it up later, then listen again.
Creates that solid learning loop. Identify, fill the gap, retest. Smart.
Okay, let's talk frustrations. Fast speech. Everyone struggles with this.
Oh yeah, they acknowledge it's normal to feel that way. Native speakers do talk fast.
So what's the fix? They suggest treating it like a workout. Start slower, gradually increase the speed.
Like a workout for my ears.
Yeah.
Like that. Your brain gets faster with practice.
And pausing, replaying tricky bits is okay too. Or using apps that slow audio down, especially for beginners.
What about different accents? That can be tough.
Yeah, but exposure is great for fluency. It prepares you for real conversations.
It can be confusing at first, though.
For sure, but practice helps. Listening to speakers from various countries just broadens your skills, builds confidence. Their advice, don't limit yourself.
Seek out variety. Good tip. And idioms, those tricky phrases.
Listen in context, try to guess the meaning, then write them down to practice later.
And for tricky sounds, pronunciation.
Mimic the speaker, shadowing again. That seems to be the go-to.
Okay, so you have all these techniques, but how do you fit it into a busy life and stay motivated?
Multitasking comes up a lot. Listening while you walk, exercise, do chores.
Turn dead time into learning time.
Exactly. It makes exercise time productive. Great way to combine tasks. They seem pretty keen on it. Multitasking wins again.
Huh. And they even suggest listening to stories before bed.
Yeah, relaxing and educational. Apparently you can fall asleep learning English. Not sure how much sinks in then, but hey.
Worth a shot, maybe. What about practicing with people?
Definitely powerful. Conversations improve listening and speaking. Find language partners, join groups. It's motivating too, offers real conversation chances.
But you don't always need someone else, right?
No, practicing alone is valuable too. Talking to yourself. Fantastic, they say. Speaking aloud reinforces listening.
And recording yourself.
Yeah.
Comparing it.
Amazing self-check method. Gives you real feedback on your own sound.
How about staying motivated long-term?
Remind yourself why you're doing it. Career, travel, whatever. Listen to stuff you actually like. Interest keeps you going.
Small goals too, weekly goals.
Yep, smart way to track progress. And reward yourself. Hit a milestone, give yourself a treat. Boost motivation.
And finally, the mindset. What do they stress there?
It's a marathon, not a sprint. Be patient. Small steps add up. Consistency is key.
And mistakes.
Don't be afraid. They're part of learning. Embrace them.
And eventually you start seeing progress, right? Like feeling more confident talking to people.
Exactly. That's a clear sign your listening is getting better.
So for beginners, the main advice is
start with easy materials and be patient. And again, don't be afraid to make mistakes.
And that big goal many have, understanding fast speakers without subtitles.
Yeah, they mentioned that. It's a common goal and achievable with all these methods.
Okay, so wrapping this deep dive, improving English listening, it's not magic. It's about consistent practice.
Active strategies like shadowing, summarizing.
Making smart choices about what you listen to.
And keeping that patient, positive mindset.
Right, and doing all this helps you understand more, feel way more confident in real chats, and actually, enjoy the journey.
Absolutely, you're building that skill actively.
So thinking about everything we've covered, daily habits, shadowing, notes, choosing content, ditching subtitles, sometimes what's one single small change you could make starting today that could really move the needle on your listening journey?
Something to think about. Keep practicing.